Loving conference and just enjoying a quiet little time standing in the lunch queue with nobody talking to me.
Okay, well, we're going to change that now. So, you are our candidate for Islington North.
I am.
Are you ready to beat Jeremy Corbyn?
Don't even know if Jeremy Corbyn's going to stand yet. No nominations have been asked. I mean, the election hasn't been called, so we'll have to wait and see. It's completely obvious that these linked cost of living, climate crises are just crying out for the solutions that the Green Party has been calling for years, and people are beginning to see through. They can see the Conservatives have no handle on the economy. They can see that Keir Starmer is pretty timid, and they actually want the clear green policies that the Greens are proposing, and I think people will be voting for us. It's beginning to show in the polls, just that steady, solid, somewhere between 5 and 7 or 8%. That's really good at this point in the electoral cycle for us, and I think we should be really heartened by it. I think we can maintain it. It's up to us to be effective and to just show that we've got the compassionate, radical politics that people need. But right now, it is very, very clear that we have the least well-insulated homes in Europe. We are so unresilient for this, and it is completely unnecessary. We could have been insulating homes over the last 12 years, and think how much better we'd be able to withstand what we're dealing with now.
Oh no. Okay. What are you asking me, Alexander?
Oh yeah, and you're presenting a motion.
I am presenting a motion.
What is your motion on?
My motion is to make the Wales Green Party leader a paid member of the Green Party. It's a full-time job already, so it deserves full-time pay. That's the message I'm going with. Yes, we have at least one supporter.
You have at least one vote. Do you think you're going to get it through?
At least one. I think we're going to get through. Especially because I'm going to give a barnstorming speech in the spirit of Martin Sheen.
That we're going to help you write.
There's going to be a green mist from Rhondda to the Senedd, charging the Wales Green Party leader home. It's going to be something like that. Are you going to
say it in Welsh? Are you going to speak it in Welsh?
Tipyn bach. Dwi'n siarad tipyn bach Cymraeg.
I don't think my subtitle software can do Welsh.
My theory is that if I deliver it in Welsh, no one could judge me for what I'm saying.
So let me say this to Keir Starmer. Listen to your members. We're delighted that Labour members and unions have backed proportional representation in overwhelming numbers. We saw the feed in their conference hall as people raised their hands for a fairer voting system. I punched the air and celebrated, but very quickly, reality started to bite. Keir is saying no. No to fairer votes. He's saying not a priority. We have a broken voting system that means people are not represented properly in decisions from everything, from transport to policing to our NHS. Literally, being people's representative is one of the most fundamental duties and privileges of being an elected politician. It's not okay to present representation as unimportant or a distraction. It's not okay to continue to support a broken status quo and hope no one notices. For a society that includes everyone, that has to include the right for a fair vote for everyone. And in the Green Party, representing people is our priority. And conference. we are representing people. Greens all across England and Wales are proving, even with the odds stacked against us, even with the huge sums of money ploughed into the other parties by big business, we are still winning and will continue to win, even under the current voting system.
We can smile and wave.
Hey.
Do that.
I feel like we're on the West Wing.
We're just on the West Wing.
Never said that to you, have
Just
walking and talking.
No, everyone said it.
No, everyone said it.
I think everyone said it. So Zack, how do you feel after your first speech?
It was great. It was really lovely. The mood in the hall was elated, and I was really glad that Amelia got such a lovely reception too.
Yeah. This is good. It's happening here. And so, what do you think the Green Party's response to the cost of living crisis differentiates it from the other parties?
I think we've always had a response to the cost of living crisis because we know that the same solutions to the cost of living crisis are the solutions to the climate crisis. So I think what differentiates us is, one, we knew what those solutions were from the offset, two, we're ahead with those solutions, and I think what we need to do now is even more make sure that our message is clear, that we stand with people who are most vulnerable, that we stand in solidarity with striking workers, and we stand with minorities, and I think that's the difference, and also the fact that we have grassroots democracy. We've just been in a plenary session that was very long with people voting lots of times, and democracy takes a long time, but I'm proud that the party invests that time in democracy as opposed to a top-down leadership.
And final question, do you think that hope is alive in the Green Party to win more Green MPs in the next general election?
Yeah, undoubtedly, that's the easiest question.
Because there is an alternative, and it's needed now more than ever. The Green Party and our bold voice has never been more needed. The Labour Party are spineless. The Liberal Democrats are invisible. And don't get me started on the Conservative Party. We alone have the courage and the principles to offer a different vision for the future. This country is crying out for the kind of policies we offer. The majority of voters support nationalisation, including Conservative voters. People are sick of paying rip-off energy prices for their money to land in the pockets of wealthy shareholders. They want action on inequality, on the climate, and on our neglected NHS. In the Green Party, we've always said that we don't shy away from offering bold solutions. We say what the other parties are too timid to say. We stick on our principles when others chase public opinion, and voters know that. But as we well know, the victory of our ideas cannot be taken for granted. We have to be brave, we have to be loud, and we have to build from the grassroots up.
So Amelia, you've just done your final speech as Green Party Deputy Leader. How do you feel now going into the big wide world of not Green Party?
I feel really excited about handing on the torch to Zack and seeing what's possible in a new, different pair of hands. But also, really, I think it's really important that I will still be doing work within the Green Party because I don't want to ever step back from making a stronger Green movement as possible. So yeah, excited about the future for the party, but also, excited about what's possible for me in the future as well.
And you've announced a new role with the Global Green Party. What do you think that's going to lead to?
So I'm a delegate with the Global Greens to COP27. And the problem with COP27, the COP negotiations in general, is that you're a delegate, but you don't have any power. So it's more about transparency than it is about influence. But I know that I've got a strong social media following, and one of the things that I think is really important about the world coming together to talk about climate is that those voices that are most marginalised within the discussion are given a platform. So I'll be there making sure that I'm giving voices a platform on my social media or on other work that I can do to people who might be being ignored by the world leaders and whose voices are the most important to that discussion.
What would you say has been the highlight of your 8 years as Green Party Deputy Leader?
It's really hard to say. I definitely feel like telling Piers Morgan that he got in Snickers in a twist over a vegan sausage.
There's a human wave. Very well. Yeah, so there was a Snickers bar.
It was a vegan sausage.
Oh no, it was a vegan sausage. Yes, that he didn't like.
So I definitely think that telling Piers Morgan that he got his knickers in a twist over a vegan sausage was a highlight just for the look on his face. But really it's been seeing how the different general elections have evolved within the party, and the party has changed so much before 2015, but the 2015 general election was a game changer for us. 2017, 2019. I really love those general elections and the opportunity it gives the Green Party, and I've always felt really proud to have been part of that and all the achievements we've made during this.
And what would be your message to Greens going into the next general election? Do you think that we can win more MPs?
Hard work pays off, and if any party knows that, it's the Green Party, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the hard work of volunteers and activists across the country. So yes, it is possible. It will take hard work, but if anyone can do that, then it's the members of the Green Party.
All right, thank you very much.
Which way am I looking at you?
You're looking at me, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Am I squinting because the sun is like...
Are you squinting? No, you look fine.
Okay, cool.
I mean, maybe a little bit tired, but you look fine. So Nate, you were recently elected to Newham Council. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
How has it been going?
It's been like a complete whirlwind. When you're running for election and you're working really, really hard, and you're like, the election day is the day that you're working to, and then suddenly you get elected and you're like, oh shoot, this is the thing I didn't plan for. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but actually the other council's been a lot more supportive than you think, which is I'm very thankful for. And there's already been great chances to actually make a difference on like proportional representation, on opposing like massive corporate developments in my ward. So I think it's a huge learning curve for everyone, because Labour are learning that they can't just pre-arrange everything in their own group meeting before council. Like I'm like a spanner in the works for them. But I think actually quite a lot of the Labour councillors are quite thankful for that, because it kind of gives them like scope to get in a bit of original thought or a bit of their own thought. Like that's my experience, and that creates scope for actually getting things done. I'm not somebody who comes in and is really aggressive and I'm gonna be super angry and get my point across but never actually change anything. I'm a lot more diplomatic, I think. So we're 6 months in. Got three and a half more years. We'll see what we can get done. Yeah, well, I think very clearly the best chance we've ever had, right? If you think since 2010, when Caroline got elected, we've had one scheduled general election, and we came really, really close to winning a second seat then. And we had 2017 and 2019, but they weren't the planned, worked through. We essentially had 6 weeks' notice each time, right? And to win a seat in 6 weeks is so hard. But we've got Cllr in Bristol, we've got Adrian in Norfolk. We are going to win more seats. It's not a case of if at this point. It's a case of when, and I really do think that we can. But to do that, we need every activist that can to get to Bristol, to get to Norfolk, to get to Islington, to get to Herefordshire, and to get our Green MPs elected. So sign up.
So is hope alive in the Green Party?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's not just hope at this point, it's realistic, right? Like, look at Bristol. More people in Bristol West voted Green than voted Labour at the last election. It's totally doable. We can win, and everybody knows that when you convince people that Greens can win, we do win. That was certainly the case in my ward in Stratford, and I know it's the case in Bristol and in Norfolk and everywhere else as well.
All right. We're going to go watch a speech now.
Yeah.
Who's speaking?
Zack.
Okay.
And then Anthony.
Okay, all right.
Anthony or Anthony? I never know, because it's the same spelling.
And I want to say Anthony.
Well,
So Jenny Jones's opinion is that Nate is very, very good looking.
I'm going to tweet that.
Yeah, I'm
Actually, I'm
really
going to make that my
sorry.
Twitter bio. Good looking, Jenny Jones.
No, I don't look at people in that way, you know, but because we're looking at you on the screen, I think, oh.
What do you
Thank
think?
you.
What do you think of the attractiveness of the members of House of Lords?
Well, their personalities are sometimes lovely, but you know, we are. I think I'm the average age at 72, so it's quite. You know, people are past their best, perhaps.
That has to go in.
It's going to go in. Tight 3 minutes. All right. Alexander Salon's Brighton and Hove Green Party. It is 2022. It is 2022 and we have lived through 12 years of crippling Tory austerity. And for what? What gains have we seen? What rewards have we been handed? We have seen the lowest wage growth since the Napoleonic Wars. We live in a country where 14.5 million people live in poverty. We live in a country where 10% of working age adults live in poverty. We live in a country where 90,000 people a year die in poverty. In short, we live in a poverty economy built by decades of Conservative, Labour and Lib Dem governance, and it's time to fight back. We have a government for the rich and a spineless opposition that have basically turned around to the rest of us in the midst of this cost of living crisis and told us to take a pay cut. Are the execs taking a pay cut? Are the billionaires taking a pay cut? Because they should. We have a hard-right government that has all but declared open class war on the working people of this country, and without opposition, without proper political leadership that champions redistribution, we are doomed to fail. We need fighting trade unions and a resurgent and militant labour movement, but what we really need is a fighting Green Party. A Green Party that stands in solidarity with working people, that shows a real and radical vision of a just world. A Green Party that will take on the billionaires, the oligarchs, the bosses, the landlords, the monarchy, the real parasites of society. We need a Green Party that will champion a real pay rise for the lowest paid and say that it is not radical to say that every worker in the UK is entitled to a decent standard of living. We need a Green Party that will stand up and fight to abolish the billionaire class and fight for a £15 minimum wage. We need a Green Party that will stand up for a rebalancing of the scales, for a new social contract and a new deal for the working people of this country. It is time we stand and speak clearly about our vision for the future. One where workers should not scrape and save pennies, where you don't have to worry about every item in your shopping basket, the future where you don't need to worry about how far away the next payday is. Mine was on Friday. A future where the majority of your pay packet doesn't go to a parasite landlord, and a future where the price of a pint is not worth more than an hour's work on the minimum wage. Going into the next general election, our headline policies must be clear, concise, easily accessible. They must speak to the day-to-day experience of working people and how we would radically improve them. Passing this policy would end the ambiguity that has pervaded party communications on the minimum wage for this past year. This motion has been endorsed by the Green Party Trade Union Group, the Bakers Food and Allied Workers Union, and the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union. I ask conference, when you leave this place, when you go home to wherever it is from this country that you've travelled from, you go home and you fight for a £15 minimum wage. I ask you to vote for this motion. Thank you very much. Fight for 15!
What I wanted to say to you after your speaking and stuff, because of course, remember, my son used to work for Cineworld, and the minimum wage he got as an 18-year-old was that of a 16-year-old.
Yes.
And that was really, and also I think that, if you ever have to say things again, is say this is minimum. This is what we say 16-year-olds get.
The argument that they bring for it is like, it's, what is it worth? The person isn't giving the value. It's not what the value is to the person. It's what's the value is to the box.